Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I have not done these in a little bit. It's been a little chaotic still, trying to get back into the swing of working full-time and having two YouTube channels. And so it's taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated to figure out a good schedule for me. But we're gonna go ahead and just get a weekly reading vlog done for this week. So today is Monday, the 17th of March. It is St. Patrick's Day, and so we're starting this week off strong, I guess. Don't know where I was going with that, but it is the end of the night. It is 8:15 at night. I did not do any recording at all today. I did do some recording this morning while I was getting ready, as you saw briefly at the beginning of this video. But let's go ahead and talk about the books that I'm reading. So I'm currently reading two books. So I have on my Kindle Exodus. This was not part of my March TBR. Flock was, which is Ravenhood Book 1. This is Ravenhood Book 2. I did not anticipate wanting to jump into this, but Book 1 ended very abruptly at the end of the book. It was a cliffhanger, and I wanted to see what's going on. So I'm only like 3% in. I think I only read chapter 1 so far. Flock was not the best. I felt like it did not have a plot for about 80% of the book, and then the last 20% things were revealed and things were starting to happen, and there were emotions and there were things going on between the FMC and the two MMCs. And so when it ended, I wanted to find out what was going on. So I immediately downloaded Exodus, and even though it's not on my TBR, we're gonna go ahead and read it. So this is what we have on Kindle. And then the other book that I'm reading is A Touch of Darkness, but I'm doing this through it's an audiobook. So I have this on Audible. It was free to download, so it didn't cost me anything. It didn't have to use a credit or anything. So I am reading A Touch of Darkness, which is part of my TBR. This is the book that I pulled out of my jar for my physical TBR. And so I do have the physical book. I also have this on Kindle, and then I also have this on Audible. So I have been listening to it on Audible, and I am literally at the very end. I am on chapter 24, page 331 in the physical book, and this book only has 379 pages, so I will be finishing this very quickly. I plan on starting this while I am making some overnight oats for meal prep for the week, so I'll hopefully be able to get this done during that time, and then I will pick up Exodus tonight. So that is the plan, and yeah, we're just gonna see how this week works and see how many books I'm able to read and everything that comes out of me being a full-time worker, a full-time federal worker, working on site again after 5 years of telework, and see how my reading goes. So let's go ahead and get ready for the night and do some meal prep.
Or how he'd gotten inside the dark lift, or who his parents were. He didn't even know his last name. Images of people flashed across his mind, but there was no recognition. Their faces replaced with haunted...
Lighting, not good. Ooh, no, wrong way. Oh, not the right time. That works. Okay, so we're doing a little Tuesday check-in. Ignore that. And last night, I did finish reading or listening on Audible A Touch of Darkness. This is a retelling of Hades and Persephone, and I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really did enjoy this. Granted, you give me the god of the underworld, kind of broody, mysterious, people don't understand him, and then he becomes like obsessed. I'm gonna like it. So really did enjoy this. This is actually a series, I guess. I guess they have other books that are, I think they're maybe in different gods. So this is Touch of Darkness, and they have Touch of Ruin, A Touch of Malice, and I think there's a couple other ones after this one was written, possibly. So maybe I'll end up picking up some more books by this author in the series, because I really did enjoy the retelling of the Hades and Persephone story, and maybe I will like some of the other gods. So did enjoy this. 4 stars. I'm glad I finally read it. And then I did end up starting this morning, which saw a little bit of a snippet of. I did end up getting Maze Runner on Spotify, so that way I can listen to that going to and from work. I wanted to read it during lunch, but I left my AirPods charging at home, so I was unable to do that. But I think, around chapter 5 or 6 in that book. I do not know what that equates to because I don't have it handy, but I'm about chapter 5 or chapter 6. So going well with that one. And then I am on Kindle reading Exodus, which is book 2 of the Ravenhood series. And I am 25% in. Here's what I found. Did not want you to talk, but okay. So I'm 25% in, and what the fuck is happening? I don't understand. I'm confused. I don't want to say a lot because it is a continuation of book 1. And so if you haven't read book 1, then I don't want to spoil anything for book 2. But what the fuck is happening? I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I miss people that were in book 1, and I don't know how I feel about new people in book 2, and I don't know where the story is gonna go. I'm so confused. Like, I don't know, should I like this? Should I like what's happening? Is this where the story's gonna go? It was not what I thought. When I picked up Flock, I didn't think it was gonna go this route, and I don't know if I like this. Like, I miss things in book 1. I really miss things in book 1. And I haven't seen it in book 2. I don't like it. And people are like saying that they cried in this book. I did actually get a little misty-eyed already, feeling for what's happening, but I don't know if I like it. I don't know how I feel. Things are happening. There's lots of things happening, but it's not what I thought was gonna happen. So that's where I'm at on Tuesday. I'm going to continue to read because I have to continue to read because I have to know what's happening. I have to know what's happening. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to continue Exodus and see where everything goes. I don't know. Like, I literally stopped in the middle of things happening at 25% in the middle of it because I couldn't take it. I miss book 1 situations. So yeah. Okay. I'm going to continue reading and see where this takes me today. It's 9:30. I need to charge my watch. It's 9:30 at night and I have probably 2.5 hours of reading. So I'm hoping I can get, because I'm on, what page am I on in this book? Ooh, I hit the wrong button. Page 133. So maybe I can get to like page 250 to 300 in the next 2.5 hours maybe, and maybe things will change. If you've read this book, drop me a comment and let me know if you were as concerned at the 25% mark in. Like, I will have this book done by the time this vlog is over, but in case other people have not read it, let me know if my feelings that I'm feeling now at 25% in, if you have the same feelings when you read this book, because I'm concerned. So we're going to read now and hope things change, but we'll see. I'm gonna do that now. I'm at the 50% mark. Something's about to happen. I'm very nervous. Oh, so I'm in part 2 now. And now I have to go to bed because I need a break and I can't breathe. Okay, it is Wednesday night now, and I only got like 4 hours of sleep. I'm a little tired after work. It is 9 o'clock. Everyone is in their designated sleeping areas, and now I'm going to do some more reading. So I'm going to catch you up on where I'm at though in my books. And so for Maze Runner, I am still listening to this on Spotify through the audiobook. I'm only on chapter 11, which is page 75. I'm at the very bottom of 75. So I still have not gotten through a whole lot of this book because I've only been listening to it the 20 minutes to work and the 20 minutes from work. So that's going well. It's a good book so far. And I'm excited to actually get through some more of it and see exactly what I remember when I read it the first time, or when I watched the movie the first time, and what's actually in the book. So that's where we are at on Maze Runner. And then we have Exodus. So as you just saw, I had a little mini meltdown while reading this book. I ended it at like 50 something percent last night, and I finished part 1, and so this morning or this afternoon when I got home from work, I picked up on part 2, and I'm now at 72% through this book. And I have thoughts. So I feel like what happened in part 1, I think, should have been the end of the book. The end of part 1 felt like it should have been the end of the book, and then book 3 would have picked up after that went down. But that happened in the middle of the book. But now I feel like in part 2, the story's completely different. There's been a time gap, time has now jumped, and things have changed. And I don't know how well I'm going to like it. And I don't know what the story's going to do going forward. Because I feel like what happened in book 1 and what happened at the 50% mark of this book was all kind of tied together in one story and like one plot. And then now it's like a completely new book, sort of. And I don't know where the story's going to go, because this is a trilogy. So we have another book next, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not pleased, kind of. I don't know how I feel, I'll say. I think I'm still holding on to my feelings that I had from book 1. Like the characters in book 1, I truly loved. And I really connected and really enjoyed reading those characters. And now things have changed, and I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to like it. I'm really hoping, so I'm at 73% in this book, or 72%. It says, let me see how long I have left. So I have 2 hours and 41 minutes left, so I could finish this book tonight because it is 9:15. So that would put me at about 1 o'clock, essentially. I'd be going to bed at the same time as I did last night. So we'll see how I feel, but I'm going to try to get as much of this book done as I can, and I'm really hoping I like where the story's going to go. Because like I said, I don't really know what the story is right now. It's not the same. And I don't know. People have changed, and I don't like what they've changed into. Even side characters. I just had a scene with someone who was a very friendly person, and now they're kind of a bitch, and I don't really like them. It made me very upset, the interaction I just read. So that's what we're going to do. It's Wednesday. I'm hoping I'll be able to knock this out tonight, but if not, I will knock this out tomorrow. And then the question is, will I read the third one? Will this end on a cliffhanger again and make me want to read the third book that is not on my TBR, just like this one is not on my TBR this month? So, I don't know. I do know, actually, tomorrow is March the 20th, and tomorrow the book Kiss the Villain, which is part of the Legacy of Gods series that I did not know was coming, that is going to be released on Kindle Unlimited tomorrow. So maybe I'll hopefully knock this out, and then tomorrow I'll download that one and I'll read that, because I really, really, really want to read that book. That book, Kiss the Villain, is a dark romance, and it's a professor student. And so I'm excited. So I'm really excited to read that book. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get this done so I can read Kiss the Villain tomorrow, unless this ends in such a way that I have to pick up the third one. So hopefully that's not the case. I would like to finish this trilogy, but I really, really, really want to read Kiss the Villain. I have been looking forward to that once I realized it was coming out. So that's enough rambling for a Wednesday. Let's go ahead and sit back on the couch and do some reading. Okay, it's now Thursday night. I didn't do any recording yesterday other than what you just saw. I didn't have any clips of me reading last night, but I did finish Exodus. And I ended up giving that book 4 stars. I have feelings about it. I am not going to continue with the 3rd book because I'm honestly a little confused. And if you have read the Ravenhood series, drop me a comment down below because I am curious if I need to read that 3rd book, because this is where my thoughts are. So, Flock ended up giving like a 3.5, I think is what I ended up giving it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the problem that I had with that one was through about 80% of the book, really was no plot. It was basically just the FMC and the 2 MMCs, their like relationship and like how they were like evolving. And then at the 80% mark, things were unraveling and you were learning some things and the plot actually kind of kicked in a little bit. And so it was a good book. It was very much in the 1st book. It was all character and that was pretty much it. And it ended very abruptly, and then I immediately went to the 2nd book. So with Exodus, it was in 2 parts. You have part 1, which picks up basically right where Flock ended. Then part 2 is like 6 years later, I think is when it is. It's 6 years later. So you have a time jump. And I felt like the first part was, my big issue is I really, really, really liked the FMCs in Flock. And then in part 1 and even in part 2, those FMCs you only see them a handful of times in the entire book. And it's a completely different character that you're kind of dealing with in Exodus with the FMC. And I was okay with it eventually. Like I got over my initial shock of not seeing the original MMCs. And I was like, okay, in my mind, this is where I was at. In my mind, all I was thinking of was like Throne of Glass and ACOTAR and those type of things where you have a book focused primarily on certain characters and then you have the next books, they can sometimes focus on other characters and then it'll jump back to the first characters. So in my head, I was thinking while reading Exodus that, okay, this is all about a different character, different things are happening, but we'll go back to the original characters that are in Flock. But at the end of Exodus, the story wrapped up. Like it literally wrapped up perfectly. So my question is, do I even need to read the 3rd book? Because I looked at the synopsis on, I think, Amazon just to see what the 3rd book was about, and it sounds like the 3rd book is going to basically be one of the MMC's perspective during part 2 of Exodus. So you're going to go back and you're going to have the male perspective, whereas you had Cecilia's perspective through everything in Flock and in Exodus. So it sounds like it's just going back and retelling the story and you're getting a different MMC's character in the 3rd book about what happened in the 2nd book. And I don't know if I want to read it. So all that to say, I did enjoy it. It was very emotional. I cried so many times. I feel like in Exodus, I had every emotion. So I was obviously very sad. I was ugly crying. I couldn't handle it. Then I was happy. I was mad. I was so frustrated to where I wanted to throw my Kindle across the room because I was just so mad when certain things were happening and it angered me. But then I got happy again. And so it was a whole range of emotions and I really did like it. So I have decided I'm not going to continue with the Ravenhood series, that 3rd book. Right now, I do probably want to read it eventually, but because I just got finished reading book 1 and book 2, and if book 3 goes back and retells book 2, I feel like I'm going to get bored. So I might take a gap and read that later. So that might be a future book later on in the year. So that is where I was on that. I am still reading or listening on audio The Maze Runner. I do need to update my book because I listened to it this morning and this afternoon. And so now, let me find my Spotify. I am on chapter 17. Where is that? apparently not, I didn't read apparently a whole lot or listen to a whole lot. So I'm somewhere around, I'm just going to put it at the end of chapter 17 because I ended up having to stop very close to the end. So I am on like page 118 or 119 of Maze Runner, and it's going well. It's going well. I don't have a lot of input for the Maze Runner. But for the book, the actual book I'm going to be reading, I did download Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. This is another book from the Legacy of Gods world. It's not like all of the previous Legacy of Gods books were like God of War, God of Malice, God of Ruin, God of Fury, all that type of thing. This is Kiss the Villain, but it's still, this is Gareth, who is the older brother of Killian Carson, who was in book 1, which was God of Malice. I get them all mixed up, but Killian Carson was the very first book of the Legacy of Gods stories, and this is his older brother, Gareth. I have only read like 2 chapters so far, if that. I think I was like a chapter and a half. Super excited to read this, and it just got released today. When I finished Exodus, I finished it at like 12:30 last night, 1 o'clock or so, and I immediately went to Amazon to see if it was on Kindle Unlimited. It had not been released on Kindle Unlimited yet, so I downloaded it first thing this morning when I woke up, and this is what I'm going to be starting today. So that is my reading updates. Yeah. I don't really have anything else. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this book is going to be. I have really enjoyed all of Rena Kent's books so far. So I have very high hopes for Kiss the Villain. So we're going to start reading this soon, and I will check in tomorrow and let you know how far I got in Kiss the Villain. Hey guys, okay, it is several days later. It is now Sunday night at 10:45 p.m. I just got out of the shower because I have work tomorrow, but I wanted to do a little wrap up. So I did not record anything, obviously, on Friday, Saturday, or today, but I did want to go ahead and give you a wrap up of my reading. By Friday, it was a Friday, and I just really wanted to relax. Saturday, I did not record because I had a headache literally the entire day. It didn't actually go away until about 6 p.m. or so. It was like a hormonal, and also I did not drink coffee that morning, so I think it was a caffeine withdrawal type situation. So I did not record anything on Saturday, and I have not done anything today except for running errands and cleaning and all of that type of stuff for my typical end of the week routine. So that's kind of what I have been doing since I saw you last, but I do want to go ahead and give you a idea of my reading, because while I did not record, I did still read. So I'm pulling up my story graph. I am still reading Kiss the Villain. I am now at 47% on this book, and then with Maze Runner, I am still listening to that on Audible, or Spotify I should say. I've been listening to that while I've been doing my cleaning and laundry and all that kind of stuff. So I have been making really good headway in that, and I think I'm about 75% into that book as well. So that should be wrapping up fairly soon. But let me tell you how many pages, or how much I actually did read on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That way you get an idea of kind of where I'm at reading wise. So let's see, what was Friday? So Friday was the 21st, and on the 21st I listened to 91 minutes of The Maze Runner, and then I also read 92 pages of Kiss the Villain. And then on Saturday I read 148 pages of Kiss the Villain. I didn't do any listening yesterday. And then today, like I said, I am 47% in. I don't know what that equates to page wise. And then I'm 73 or 75% into Maze Runner, and I don't quite know what that equates to for minutes. But I have been making headway with my books, which is great. I will say review wise, Maze Runner is going good. I like it. It's, you know, I figured I was going to enjoy it. I don't remember literally anything that happened when I watched the movie, however many years ago that was. So it's all kind of very new in my brain. But for Kiss the Villain, I don't know what I think about it. So I'm almost halfway through. I'm at 47%. And in this book, there are a couple of things that I have thoughts on. The first thing is I don't know what the plot is. I think I know why Caden, which is the professor, I have an inkling of maybe why he's being the way he is, because he is a jerk in this book. Caden, the professor, is a jerk. And I think the reason why he is that way is because something happened in his past, and he thinks Carson, who is the student, who is also Killian's brother, the older brother for Killian Carson, or Killian, is it Carson? I can't remember. Hold on. It's Caden and Gareth Carson. So Gareth is Killian's older brother. And I think the reason why Caden is such a jerk to Gareth is whatever happened in Caden's past, he thinks that Gareth is the cause of it. My assumption, I don't know if that's correct, but Caden is a jerk. And so that's one thing. Caden also has a couple of little nicknames, pet names that I don't quite care for. So he calls Gareth Little Monster, which isn't bad, but the reason why I don't really care for it is Gareth is supposedly just as bad as Killian, personality-wise. But he portrays himself as the perfect student, like the perfect son, the perfect, everything. Like he is the well-mannered, perfect person. That is his alter ego, and that's what he is very. He wants to put that persona out there, but he hides his apparently really dark, deep, dangerous side that's just as bad as Killian. But I've never seen it. The couple of times that he's tried to do something, it's failed and it's backfired. So he's not very good at it, if that's what he thinks is his bad side. I don't know. I've just never seen him actually be the morally gray character that he is described as. Killian, from page 1, Killian is a psychopath. Nikolai is deranged. He is just all on a whole nother level. You see that in the books. You see the other MMCs in the Legacy of Gods series, you see their personality. It is front and center how crazy these MMCs are. But when it comes to Gareth, it's said that he's like that, but I've never actually seen it. So I don't quite like the Little Monster nickname, because to me he's not. He's like a pretend little monster. I don't know. So don't really care for Little Monster, just because I don't think it's a good representation of the character or the personality of Gareth. And then the second one I don't want to say, but Caden calls a part of Gareth's body a female body part. He talks about how much he can't wait to do stuff to the female body part that Gareth does not have. I don't really like that. It's very weird, and I don't care for that. Every time it pops up, every time he says it, it just kind of makes me go, ooh, type thing, and I don't like that. So those are the two main things I don't really care for. Actually, it's probably more than two, but I don't know. I don't know what the plot is. I don't know. I mean, it's spicy, I guess. There's some scenes. It's interesting. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I am going to continue it. I don't think I'm going to DNF it. I did also see today, I think, Larry Reed's put out a TikTok that she DNF'd this book at 50%. And she loves Legacy of Gods, with the exception of God of War. Nobody really likes that book. But other than that, she really does like the Legacy of Gods series, and she really likes a lot of the Rena Kent universe. But she DNF'd this book at 50%. And I don't think I'm going to DNF it. I think I'm going to continue it. But it's not as, it's taken me much longer to get this book finished than I typically have other Rena Kent books. So I think I've been reading this book for, let me see, when did I start this book? I started it on the 20th when it was released, and it's now the 23rd. So I've been reading it for 3 days, and I'm not even halfway through with this book so far. And usually 3 days is a good number for me when it comes to like romance and dark romance. It's usually the average number of days I get through my books. And I'm only halfway through with this book at that 3-day mark. So I don't know. We're going to continue. We're going to see how it goes. I just don't know, but we'll see. So yeah. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you do so. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a comment down below about Exodus and the next book in the Ravenhood series, because I really want to know what you guys think. If it's worth it for me to read that third book, or should I wait? I do want to read that book. I am going to put that out there. I will read it. I do want to finish it. But should I read it now while the story is fresh in my mind? Or should I wait a couple of months and read it then? I'm very curious. Let me know what I should do. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see everybody in my next video. Bye.